y'all, it's Natalie for cherryontop.com, and today is Technique Tuesday. We are focused on our favorite mixed media today, so I'm pulling out the Distress Oxides. I am going to use this Hang In There Stamp and Die set by Catherine Pooler, and I have this white cardstock that I've put this clear gesso on. Gesso is the key to using your watercolors on a scrapbook layout and being able to move them around. So I'm kind of gone through the papers and the stickers and deciding what color Distress Oxides I would like to use. So I've pulled out carved pumpkin, picked raspberry. I have, abandoned coral, fossilized amber, tumbled glass, and then I'm gonna figure out which green to go, and I'm going with loggy clover. It's a little bit dark, but I know I'm gonna add water to it, and so when you add the water, it lightens it up a little bit. So I pulled out some smooth white cardstock that was just as bright as my background textured cardstock to do the stamping on. And I'm gonna do a little bit of like ombre stamping where I use the two Distress Oxides. This is one reason I love them so much, is that they blend together so lovely. And so I will be using these Waffle Craft blending brushes to kind of soften up the sharp edges where the two colors kind of mix, to make sure that I don't have any like sharp lines from the pad. And so I use my stamping platform because I wanted to do two passes of the stamp just to ensure that I get a really nice coverage and it's very bold and perfect lines. And I'm loving how that looks. And so my plan is to stamp all of these and then do a little bit of mixed media behind each one and kind of pop them up on some cherry foam tape. So I'm just going to kind of do the ombre inking on each stamp in different directions and different colors, except I'm keeping mostly the warms with the warms and the cools with the cools. So the blues and greens together, the yellow, oranges, and pinks together. I will allow yellow and green or yellow and blue go together because that works as well. Just, use your color wheel. But I'm not going to make you watch me do all of the stamping. But there's the final products. So this little Hang In There die by Catherine Pooler comes with the stamp comes with a matching die, and it does that funny little jagged edge down there, and it looks like a little wall hanging, and I love it so much. So I'm really happy with how this all looks, and I'm gonna try to cut down my photo of my pup Lola to kind of mimic the size of the stamped image. It was just feeling a little big there. So now I have the wall hangings laid out and the way that I'm going to put them on here, kind of in a grid layout, and so I can kind of mimic the colors in the background. So remember, I put my gesso on that paper, so when I rub the Distress Oxide pad directly onto the gessoed cardstock, and then I add water and I'm able to move it around like watercolor. The tumbled glass gets pretty light, so I do go back in and add additional layers. You can also do what I'm about to do here. You can stamp it on your glass mat or whatever you're using, wax paper or whatever, and add water there and then pick it up like watercolor as well. I do both ways, but when I'm doing it like this, as long as you have fully coated the page in your gesso, you're able to move it around, then you shouldn't have to worry about any hard lines. So you can directly stamp it onto layout. I am also kind of pouncing my brush at times, and that's why I turn the paper a little bit, because I want the splatters to come out from my brush and give little bits of splatter. I didn't want to have to go back through and add splatter, which you totally can do after your watercolor has dried. Otherwise, it will just kind of blend into the existing watercolor and with the water on the page. But this way, I just kind of add the splatter as I go along, and I don't have to go back in and add additional, because I didn't want it to be too much. I just wanted a little bit. And so never fear, because I know it looks like a little bit of a hot mess. It's starting to look like a hot mess. But when you put those clean stamped, lovely die cut images back on top, it really just looks like a little bit of mixed media peeking out, and it's so beautiful. So stick with me here. This is my favorite mixed media, and you can see why. Like, I can use it as watercolor on the background. I used it to stamp those beautiful images. It blends so beautifully. Adding water to it really changes it a lot of times. It can really activate the color in it. You can pick up some of the color and make it look like a mottled look. There's so many things that you can do with Distress Oxides. So play around with them, learn them. You can't go wrong. I'm slowly building my collection. I actually need another tower to put them on. So like I said, that tumbled glass really lightened up when I added the water, so I wanted to just do an extra layer. So after it dried, which I helped along with my heat gun that you see laying there, I'm just going through in a few spaces and adding more. The orange kind of looked a little bit yellow, and so I just wanted to make sure that it looked like a true orange, especially because she's sitting on an orange blanket. But look, I let them dry, and now I'm adding back the die cuts, and look, it doesn't look like a hot mess anymore. It just looks like beautiful watercolor peeking out, and I'm loving the way that that looks. So that is my cherry foam tape, and you can see it is well loved. It is very small, but I'm just going through and sticking it down. This is the 1/4 inch, I think. So it's a 1/4 inch wide, but it comes in 1/2 inch or 3/8 of an inch, maybe more. Those are the ones that I noticed when I looked online today. I'm just using this little hook tool to kind of pull up the backing on it. I've already stuck all of them up. Oh, no, I haven't. I'm just kidding. I just stuck that one up. And then I'm going to do the rest off screen. And then finally, I'll finish off with sticking up the photo of Lola. So all of the die cut images are popped up on some foam tape above the mixed media images. And now there's Lola. So it's not going to be much more to finish out this page. But because her photo has some darker colors, I thought about adding black splatter, and I didn't want to do that. So I picked this paper that has a little bit of the darker colors in it to kind of help balance out the photo that has darker colors. So I just snipped off a little bit of the top, and I'll do the same at the bottom. And I'm just going to take a lovely strip of this paper and add it behind the snipped off bit so that it will just look like a little bit of a ragged edge peeking out from behind the ripped off bit. And that's a Missy Wooden special. I mean, basically everything I do is something that she taught me. So, but I'm loving the way that looks. I'm going to do a couple of different little spaces at the bottom. And that is a photo play collection from a while back. It's called Paprika or Paprika, however you want to say it. But it also goes with that Heart Eyes collection by Simple Stories, which I recently got. It's a Valentine's theme collection, but I love my dog and the colors work. And so there were definitely items in there that worked really well, including this one that says Heart Eyes, and it's black. And so I loved adding in that pop of black since we'd already talked about how there was darker colors in the photo. So I'm just going to add a few more images. And what you saw me do there was the part of the sticker that's sticking off. I'm just adding a little bit of my embossing powder tool to it so that it's no longer sticky, so it doesn't like stick down the popped up image, if that makes sense. So just going to add a few more stickers around here, and that's going to be it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this super quick mixed media layout. Let me know if you have any questions. Pop over to the blog, check it out. You can see all the items linked over there that you can buy. All the Distress Oxide colors that I use, I'm sure will be linked. And here are the final still shots. I would love it if you'd go over to my channel and subscribe. And thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to go grab this super cute stamp set at cherryontop.com. Bye, y'all.